Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So, how our beliefs create our reality is what we are exploring today. And I was inspired to share this with you because I was out, as they say, in Leeds on Tuesday evening. Had a lovely meal, and I probably kind of planned to have maybe one glass of wine. I'm not a big drinker. We don't have alcohol in the house very often. I mean, occasionally Bruce will be watching rugby and he'll have a drink with that, but very rarely we actually drink in the house. Don't often drink when I'm out and about, just very occasionally. And I planned to have one glass of wine. So one glass of wine happened, and then we sat down and we were eating and chatting. I was chatting with two lovely ladies that I've known, ladies in business for years, and something mysterious happened. Basically, my glass of wine kept filling up again, like a little magic wine fairy was putting wine into my glass. And I think I know who the wine fairy was, to be fair, but my wine glass kept. So I really don't know how much wine I drank, and I'm not a big drinker. So now it would have been really easy. I guess maybe. So I woke up on Wednesday morning and I felt fine, is what I'm going to tell you. I felt absolutely fine. I wasn't even tired. I'd actually slept really, really well. I slept longer than normal for me, and I'd had a good night's sleep, and I felt fine in the morning. Got up, got on with my day. Now, it's not so long ago that I bought into the story. So the story is that once you get to middle age, and I'm well into that now, I'm 51, that once you're in middle age, you're going to have a bad hangover, that is going to last days, and you are going to have a terrible time, and probably want to start drinking again to try and relieve it, perhaps, or just generally have an awful time, and not be able to function properly and feel dreadful. Now, it wasn't so long ago that I really did buy into that story. I did think that that must be, lots of people are saying it, so it must be true that once you get to middle age, you have really terrible hangovers. Now, this is not about you can change your thinking and not have a hangover. That's not at all what I'm pointing to, but something happens once we start to understand how our reality is being created. It's almost like there's a natural process of resetting, or letting go of ways of thinking about things once we understand how things work. So this is how it works this is how your beliefs create your reality. This is not law of attraction. This is just how factually your reality is created in the way in which your brain works with your belief system. So once you believe something to be true, that is the filter through which you see the world, your world. It's even the filter through which you experience your own physiology. So just sit with that for a minute. It's even the filter by which you experience your own physiology. Your own symptoms are experienced through that same filter of your belief system. And how it works is that there are millions of bits of information that could be in your awareness in any moment, and your psychology can handle about 50 bits of information each second. So each second your reality is being created, and the means by which your brain swipes away tons of information that it can't, because your head would explode if you took on millions of bits of information. You'd just be you'd just be crackers. You wouldn't be able to cope with life. So there has to be a means by which your brain gets rid of things that are just in the way. They're in the way. They don't fit. And they don't fit with the belief system. So the belief says such and such, and if something isn't fitting with that belief, then it's not relevant. It can't be right. You get rid of it. Now, one of my favourite examples of this, that many people understand, because it's nice and simple, is that if I believe that Bruce, my fiance, is really rubbish at emptying the bins, for example, then and it's something that I think he should be doing. Bless him, he does do it. He's an absolute star. Anyway, let's just imagine that he didn't. I got the idea Bruce was rubbish at emptying the bins. I'm pretty sure this is how my relationship with my ex-husband formed. That belief would then delete the sight of an empty bin. So every time I went in the kitchen, my brain would automatically focus me on, or bring into my awareness, the full bin. Every time I went in the kitchen, oh, the bin's full, the bin's full, the bin's full. Because that fits with the truth that I believe to be, it's what I believe to be true. It fits really nicely. So my brain just deletes every time the bin is empty and just allows me to see when it's full. And how I think that works with our own physiology is that it is what we notice. So I have no idea yesterday morning what the physiological state of my body was, but I noticed my okayness. I noticed I woke up. I'd had a decent night's sleep. I noticed that I was ready to get out of bed. I noticed that I went down and did my exercise as normal. I noticed that the morning just was fine. Now, I don't know whether there was other things going on in my physiology. I don't really care, because I liked the experience that I had, to be fair. So that is so powerful, that, that we really are, we're not changing the physical reality of life. That's a whole different conversation. But we are creating the reality of what we actually experience. We're creating our experience moment by moment. Now, none of this is about trying to change your thinking. I am not advocating anti-hangover affirmations or any such thing, or meditating in order to not have a hangover, or anything else. I'm not looking towards trying to get you to change your thinking. But once you know that this is how life is actually happening, something quite magical starts to happen. I am definitely having a better experience of drinking. Sounds terrible, but I'm having the day after I've had a drink, whereas before I would have had a ropey experience for probably a few days. I'd be going, oh, I've still got that hangover from 3 days ago. Now that is not what happens. Now I wake up feeling fine. And it is just because I have had this realization that thought is creating my reality moment by moment. Somehow, some of that thinking has fallen away. And I wish I understood it more than that, but it's just what I've seen. That's all I ever really can do here, is share what I have seen around this, what I have experienced. And I would say that the other place where I've seen this is around my other physical symptoms. I used to seem to be very reactive to various foods and all sorts of things, and I just am not anymore. I seem to be able to eat a wide range of foods, and I don't have the symptoms that I used to think were being caused by certain foods. And I think there's a really it's expansive in that, and a bit mind-blowing, because I think, well, is my physical body still doing the same thing? Is it still, when I eat tomatoes, is that reaction still happening, but I'm not experiencing it? Or have I just got better and I'm not experiencing it? Well, I don't know, but I'm just having a nicer experience of life, and so I'm going to just go and run with that. And what I will also say to you is that I have done nothing to work on any of these things. This has all just been a journey to understand how we as human beings work, how our reality is created, where our feelings come from, what thought is, how human beings work. And as I have gone deeper into that, and my consciousness of all of that has risen, lots of things that were not nice in my life, health things and mental things, mental health things, physical health things, mood swings, whatever else, have fallen away. And I can't imagine a nicer thing, really, to do no work on yourself and yet feel better than you've ever felt. And that's what's on offer in this conversation, is freedom from beating yourself up and fixing yourself, and a nicer experience of life. And I think that's needed in the world right now. I think a lot of people are having a pretty rubbish experience of life. And it's not necessary. It's just not necessary. So I hope you found that helpful. Helpful to know that hangovers are not necessary during the festive season, I think, don't you? Anyway, enjoy your parties and things that you're up to. And take care. Lots of love. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.